Hello, welcome to the Garden Gurus. Isn't spring such an incredible time in the year? So much colour, so much inspiration, and that's what we've got for you on today's show. Here's what's coming up. Bonnie shows us the latest in pest deterrence. Nigel shares some expert pruning tips, and I look into natural habitats for native animals. There is no more important a vegetable or fruit you could grow at home than this one. It is, of course, the tomato. Now's the time to be growing them in your garden. They're a massively rich source of lycopene. It's that red substance you see in the skin. And lycopene is vitally important to men. In fact, one of these per day is said to reduce your risk of prostate cancer dramatically. It's all about good prostate health, so having these freshly grown at home, sun-ripened, it's as good as it gets. Previously this series, I've shown you a few planting options for tomatoes using the Swan Valley Nursery carefully curated plant list. Their Metro and Renaissance tomato range of complementary herbs for companion planting, like the collection of different basils, is second to none. Now, growing tomatoes in pots is one thing. Growing them in the ground, whole different kettle of fish. These will produce a big crop, and it's going to be staggered after the ones in pots. So probably 4 weeks later, we'll start getting these gorgeous tomatoes out of this section of the garden, going straight into the kitchen. Now is the time to add more tomatoes into your diet, and they never taste better when you've grown your own at home. Sun-ripened, fresh, and totally delicious. To get the best choice of varieties in starter pots, look out for the Swan Valley collection in your local garden centre.
G'day folks, I've got a spot of pruning to do today, and I love my pruning, but I'm especially excited because I've got a new tool to use that makes pruning much easier. There are a few reasons why it's important to prune trees and shrubs, removing dead, damaged and diseased wood being a big one that should be done at any time of year as required. Pruning after flowering is another one of the important pruning rules. I'm pruning a few branches off the Photinia here just to tidy up some of this lower growth, clean up that, get a better shape, and also get rid of some of these branches that are interfering with the beautiful acanthus here, and also get some more light in. Now, normally I'd use the handheld pruning saw for this, but today I've got Still's battery-powered pruner, the GTA 26. This is a very lightweight, easy-to-use pruner. It functions a little like a chainsaw, with a 10cm guide bar and 1/4 inch high-quality steel chain for precise and powerful pruning of your trees and shrubs, as well as cutting up garden waste or timber for DIY building projects. It's designed for two-hand operation for complete accuracy, stability and safety, and it delivers a beautiful, fast, clean cut. Simply align the bar at the correct angle to the branch, start the chain before making contact, and once at full speed, apply a little pressure to push through the cut. Cutting just above a lateral branch or outward-facing bud is good horticultural practice that will encourage healthy development and growth. So I'm going to make a cut just above here. The pruner has some excellent safety features: a protective hood, non-slip handle and grip point for the two-hand operation, and an interlocking trigger for safe starting. For longer branches, it's a good idea to remove them over 2 or 3 cuts. Aside from being safer, you also get to use the pruner more. Remove any crossing branches and those growing into the middle of the tree or shrub, as these can lead to nasty rubbing and chafing, and no one likes that. The best way to carry the pruner is in the holster. That way, if you see something that needs pruning, you can be quick on the draw.
Make sure you're ready for any garden challenge this spring by visiting your local Still dealer. the only place you'll find still tools.
If you're lucky enough to be exploring the southern part of Western Australia, this Fitzgerald Biosphere is just remarkable. There are so many unique plants, in fact, 2,500 species at last count that you'll find around this area. And so many of them are unique, like the magnificent Quallop bells. Now, it's a member of the Pimelia genus. It is absolutely gorgeous. You only find it here. It's quite difficult to grow. In fact, in most other parts of Australia, if you've seen it growing in a home garden, it's because they've grafted it. But there's this other one that's just spectacular. It's known as the Royal Hakea, and it's Hakea victoriae. Its colours through the foliage are just out of this world. And during the winter, when you get a really cold, wet winter, they really colour up beautifully. So this year, in springtime, they are at their absolute best. And it's such a pleasure to show you this gorgeous plant.
The age-old challenge in the garden has been the innocent invaders. So possums, birds, rabbits, and sometimes even our own pets who tend to enjoy a tasty snack from our garden. So I'm always on the lookout for animal-friendly solutions. This way we can keep our plants safe, but also the visitors happy as well. The first gadget I picked up is this dig stop mesh, which can be placed at the base of a garden bed or even on the lawn if you have a notorious puppy that loves to dig holes. Or you can wrap it around trees or poles to deter nighttime visitors from climbing up and around the garden, and it's easy to set up. It comes in lengths of 2 meters, so there's plenty to use. And all you need to do is make sure that you measure out the area. That way you're using the amount you need. Clean any debris, so rocks or sticks. That way it will apply nice and easy. And it also comes with the ground fixing pins, which simply secure it into place. And you can place this also in the garden bed and just bury it slightly under that soil. So any four-legged friends will have a bit of a surprise when they start digging. For trees, simply cut the length you need, wrap it around and secure it into place. Quick and easy, and it's UV protected. If you have pesky crows, pigeons or larger pests coming into your garden, one of these might do the trick. This is the stainless steel pest spike deterrent, which will stop them from landing in and around your garden. It won't hurt them even though it looks intimidating, it'll simply deter them. The durable spikes lock into the polycarbonate base strips, which can be attached to any surface with either nails, screws or glue, suitable for posts, CCTV cameras, poles and other perching areas. If you have a fence line or a post just like this one that you're noticing a lot of birds or even cats jumping onto it or perching up there, you can use these. These are the stainless steel cross spikes and they work just like the other ones. They won't hurt the animals, they'll just tend to ward them off. And once they're on here, you can cut the spikes down to the perfect size. Anti-bird spikes and large animal deterrent spikes are a quick and easy way to install a barrier on top of fences, balconies and flat surfaces that tend to have a lot of foot traffic from birds or larger animals such as cats and possums. Or if you're looking to deter rodents, why not try one of these, the Pest fence spike, which is nice and neat and tidy, and it simply installs with these pre-drilled holes. So all you need is a few nails or screws, or if you don't have either one of those, you can use liquid nails to keep it secure in place. These garden visitors are going to have a much harder time trying to break into this garden and steal all this food, and most importantly, we won't be hurting them.
This new range of dark foliaged hydrangeas is going to change everything. They're absolutely stunning. Anthony Tesla plants have introduced some stunning beauties over the years, but the introduction of this new collection of hydrangeas is a game changer. These are the tuxedo range of dark leaf hydrangeas, and they are just incredible plants, producing these stunning flowers in red and pink at the moment, all through basically the summer months. What's so good about that is that you do have that colour, but it gets even better. You see, the breeding of these has them being so compact that they're ideal for pots and also for garden beds. And because of the way they've been bred, they're literally every centimetre of the plant smothered in these stunning flowers. This really is remarkable breeding, and to get the best results, they're better situated in a south-facing position, protected from strong winds and afternoon sun. They do exceptionally well as indoor colour plants and then taken outside into a shade position. In the autumn, plant them into garden beds or bigger pots, and you'll end up with magnificent displays in the coming spring. Now, if you want to get your hands on these absolutely beautiful hydrangeas, the good news is you're going to find them in leading garden centres all over Australia and, of course, your local Bunnings store. But here's the thing, they're not going to last long. They will sell out very quickly. So make sure you duck into your local garden centre, grab a couple because they're going to make a great addition to your garden. And if you want any more information about them, check out this website.
As we move into the warmer months of the year, a great way to have a water-wise garden is to plant Australian natives, and one of my favourites is the kangaroo paw, as it's extremely resilient and drought tolerant. And for more great gardening tips and advice, keep on watching here on The Garden Gurus.
Flying foxes play a vitally important part of our natural ecosystem, particularly in our forests. Now, they pollinate plants. Most importantly, they distribute seed far and wide, extending the plant's range within a forest. Now, unfortunately, due to climate change, extreme heat and habitat destruction, they're being negatively affected. Now, flying foxes would have to be one of the more misunderstood animals in our environment, but they're a very important part of it. And you guys do a lot of work here at Caversham Wildlife Park in educating people about them, don't you, Caris?
Yeah, that's right. So I think a lot of people are generally afraid of the flying foxes, but they are a species that is best appreciated from a distance in the wild. So they are a megabat, and they are one of the biggest bat species that we do have in Australia.
One of the things you don't want to do is you don't want to have them actually in your space. So planting fruiting plants, and particularly natives in the distance at the back end of your garden is a good idea?
Yeah, that's right. So they like big trees that they can roost in, but they will also eat fruit and flowers. So lots of natives that produce these for them. And then if we do have fruit that we'd like to eat, it's best to cover it with netting.
So netting is going to protect your fruit, but you've got to make sure you've got the right netting. You've got to have the right colour and also the right size. What's your advice in that regard?
So for all sort of nocturnal animals, not just our flying foxes, the colour white is best, just so that they can see it better at night time. Also, we like the holes to be quite small so they're not getting tangled in the netting, and it's got to be very tight over the trees as well.
By planting native food sources in the garden and responsibly using netting materials, we can aid in the conservation of our native wildlife.
If you've been on the hunt for a feature plant and you're just not getting anywhere, I know the feeling. It can be really hard to choose. Well, I suggest checking out the Crepe Myrtle Magic Series. These plants have been a favourite for many gardeners due to their dramatic floral displays in the summer, interesting foliage colours, autumn displays and their garden resilience. But they always require a fair bit of space as they can grow quite big. But these guys are different. The Magic Series is a new dwarf range of crepe myrtles, and they still showcase all those beautiful flower colours that we love. So purples, reds, pinks, and even whites. But they also have beautiful foliage. But that's not where the benefits end. They also have a really good multi-branched network, which means that they're nice and compact and you can grow them almost anywhere. Pots, raised garden beds, patios, balconies and community gardens, the lot these trees will fit.
Looking at the repeated patterns in nature helps invoke an awe-inspiring sense of relaxation. And that's one of the sensory exercises here at the Go Slow for a Mow Wellness Walk at the Wollongong Botanic Garden. And I've been focusing and enjoying the patterns on the tree fern trunks and of course the beautiful leaves. And I've got to tell you folks, I'm feeling extremely relaxed.
I just love cottage perennial plants. They are fabulous for Australian conditions. They grow really well through the winter, look beautiful through the spring and early summer, and then they rest through the peak of summer and the autumn before bursting back into flower and foliage colour again. Now, I've been down to my local garden centre. I've picked up those Swan Valley Nursery hat collection plants. So I've got this huge range of different varieties that I'm going to mix up in a bowl because they look fabulous in planters. And this selection, well, I'm going for something that's going to be cool for summer. I've gone for whites. The Swan Valley Nursery hat collection allows you to get plants by colour, so you can pick themes. The summer can be hot, so I've chosen a cool and clean colour in white to grow here. These are planted into bowls, which will allow me to move them around the garden as I want to get the best results. The key to success in pots is great potting mix. Always go for a trusted brand and look for the red tick, which shows the premium standard. This will include wetting agents, controlled release fertiliser and a rich source of composted organics that'll hold nutrients and moisture around fast developing roots. Now, one of the things that you should keep your eye on is these labels. I always pop them in the pot alongside the plants just to remind you what their name is, but also if you need any information, they are always full of amazing details. So make sure you pop them in alongside it. Now, I always put in 4 to 5 plants in a nice bowl like this. They're going to fill it up and they're going to cascade over. It's going to be full of beautiful white, clean colours, and that is exactly what you want to achieve. One thing that you might be concerned about is actual soil and whether you need to add any fertiliser to it. Well, you don't have to if you're using a really good potting mix like this one. You've got all the goodness in the mix, maybe just the occasional supplementary liquid fertiliser, but this should really take off. The hat collection of cottage perennial plants is now available in good garden centres everywhere. For more information, check out this website.
Eden Gardens is an excellent nursery in Macquarie Park, Sydney, and they're currently running Eden Unearthed, the largest privately funded exhibition of its kind in Australia. The 35 installation strong showcase, spanning over 2.5 acres, prides itself on upholding the 3 pillars of sustainability: economic, environmental and social. I'm catching up with Meredith Curtin, the curator here at Eden Gardens, to find out more about this wonderful exhibition. I'll have a seat while I'm waiting.
Hey, Nige!
Oh, Meredith!
That's actually one of the artworks.
Is it okay to sit in it?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
It's very
It's an
comfortable.
immersive piece
Right.
called My Happy Place.
Right.
This piece is actually by an artist called Alison Thompson, and she created the work really trying to highlight the joy of a garden and what being in a garden, has that childlike verve about it.
It's amazingly colourful, and a lot of work must go into something like this.
Oh, there's so much. She's even written a gorgeous little poem here on gum leaves that the fairies are telling the story of My Happy Place.
Well, the seat's certainly comfortable. I might hang here for a while.
No, there's so much more to see. I want to show you. Come on.
Okay, let's go. Now, this is a bit different, Meredith. A lot of black and white going on, some interesting shapes.
Yeah, this is called Pruning, and it's a work by a pair of artists, Johannes Muljana and also Pamela Brenner. So every time there's a little breath of air, they actually all spin, and all the iconography is sort of traditional Indonesian puppet theatre iconography that's always done in black and white, and it lets this lovely light through. But the word Pruning, it means shadow, and it also means reflection, and it also means imagination. Wow. So they're trying to highlight all of those things about a garden.
Well, this is a magnificent piece, Meredith, isn't it? Look at it, the detail on that.
I know, it's so tactile. It's called Listening to Trees, and if you can see here, there's actually gum leaves that have dropped onto the work while he's creating it, and it's a really interesting method. Jan Cleveringa is the artist, and what he's done is he's hung the bags of paint in the trees, and the trees themselves with the wind have created the work. And then he's cut it up into these pieces and carefully joined it to form like this wonderful tessellated piece, which in itself is fabulous, but when you look back from the boardwalk, it creates its whole other landscape.
This is really beautiful, Meredith. What is it?
Well, this is a work called Refuge by Saskia Everingham, and it's all about habitat and the loss of habitat. Saskia was inspired to create it after the 2019-2020 fires, and she saw all of these birds and other animals losing their homes and having no food, and also seeing people being displaced. And she wanted to really highlight, I guess, the need for people to plant, for animals in their backyards, to really bear in mind habitat.
And how did this one go in the exhibition?
Well, actually, this has won the Eden Gardens Award for $10,000.
Oh, wow. 10,000. Wow, there's some good money in this art game, isn't there?
There is.
If you win.
If you win. But we give all of our artists stipends to recognise their work.
The exhibition runs for 6 months until the end of April.
Isn't this just a wonderful time of the year to get out and spend in the garden? You know what, I love it, and it's all about inspiration. The good news is, whilst it's the end of today's show, we are back next week and we've got lots of inspiration for you. If you want to know anything about today's show, check out our website. It's a great resource for all gardening. And of course, if you've got a specific question, become a friend on Facebook. Yes, we answer your questions. I'm Trevor Cochran. I'm going to see you next week, hopefully, for another great episode with all the gang here at the Garden Gurus. We'll see you then.